Awesome, awesome. Oh,
The real question is, if people are watching the stream, is it blowing out their eardrums?
that's what I was gonna ask, like one of you all. See if I can fix this a little bit at least. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Um, oh, I didn't have it playing, that's my bad. Okay. There's something I gotta fix on the stream, but it should be a easier fix. Why is it not showing? One moment. I thought I had it fixed. I'm sorry. Um, you. Why is it not up here? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Cool, 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 cool. Got it.
Okay, so I popped out the stream. Never mind.
Huh?
Popped the stream out. I popped the stream out on accident when trying to move it to my drawing tablet.
Control B. Close. Okay, cool. We got our voices up on the stream now. That's good to hear. Let me see if I can.
You know, we probably should have checked something.
Hmm.
If the music in this game is gets DMCA claimed.
Oh well, I'm not like trying to make money.
Still.
I think that's fair. Okay, cool. We got our voices up on the stream now. But for some reason, I don't. Is the music coming through the stream? Because I'm not hearing it whenever I look at the stream.
In
Like on YouTube.
oh
So it is coming through the stream, but our voices are kind of low. But also the audio from the stream isn't that great either. Isn't that loud?
Isn't that loud? Okay. So I need to increase y'all's voices, is what you're telling me? Troy?
It seems to be good now.
Okay. I'm gonna increase people's voices just a little bit. Andrew, just 10% more. Okay, but the music from the game is playing in the stream on YouTube?
Let me check one more time real quick. Yeah, audio in game is good.
Awesome, 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 awesome. So I need to increase y'all's voices, is what you're telling me? Okay, cool. Alrighty. New game. Let's get this started finally.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide. But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Bienvenue à la Carnival.
Carnival.
Wow. Jesus Christ, what was that noise?
I sneezed.
Go bless yourself. Okay. I'll go ahead and be main character. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate?
What?
Oh.
No. Nothing.
Nothing.
Oh, that's you. Saving players, murderer.
Sorry. My name is Ryunosuke Naruto.
Ryunosuke Naruto.
Ryunosuke Naruto.
Naruto.
Cool. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident, and now here I am, awaiting my trial.
That's enough. Oh.
Who wants to be this man?
I don't even know what he would fucking sound like.
Just give him a voice.
Trying to take inspiration from his flowing headband, but I'm not getting anything.
Colonel. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes. And until the judges give the verdict in the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet I seem to know better than you. No, yeah, whatever. I messed up already. Go ahead. Next. Alright. I don't want to have a main role, so this guy's main role character.
You're having a main... You're already reading for him. Just keep up the Colonel act.
Nah. Right, Ryunosuke?
Oh! Yes! Of course! Sorry!
If this is anything like any of the other games, I don't think this man is going to be lasting very long.
Fair. What are you apologizing to me for?
Oh, No, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry.
Ah. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always.
Ah.
Well, I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. You may have seen a professor murdered in cold blood by your student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you?
Of course not! You have to believe me! I didn't do it! I could never murder someone.
There's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up, hold your head high.
You mean...
I believe you. I know you're innocent, Inosuke.
Kazuma Asogi, my best friend, also in his second year at Yumi University, but he's far more clever than I, a star student in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer, impressive considering...
Hit T to go to history. Do that last one.
Well,
That's
he interrupted me quite well. He's impressive considering he's still an undergraduate.
It's not that impressive. They're very constable lawyers. He's only a few years old here in Japan anyway. My qualifications don't mean much yet.
You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last.
I know, I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court.
So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in a university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend, and it's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple.
I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have crossed the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes.
The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too.
Then come with me. Oh, I thought it was your line. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together.
If only it were that simple.
Here, look at the time. I better be going.
Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Troy.
Oh, nothing is your line, sorry. Good idea, after all. It's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner.
He vanished.
It
was-
us the entire time.
It was straight after that, that's when it happened. Oh, we finally got a character for Andrew.
Yes, the characters that don't have faces, so you can't even put a name to it. So it's very possible it could be a woman, and you never know.
Exactly. Go.
Asogi, may I have a word?
I'm pretty sure it's Asugi.
I don't. Japanese names.
I have no clue. Professor, I didn't know you were coming.
Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that. For now. Asogi. You should go immediately to the judge's chambers.
His Excellency's chambers? Why?
He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about the procedures today as a result.
Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before.
Let's see, I'll go at once then.
Who's voicing woman?
I shall accompany you.
Alright then, Renosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom.
Yes, thanks, Kazuma. This is awkward.
If I may,
Yes, sorry.
you you must be the defendant. Rinosuke Naruto, I believe.
Yes, yes, that's right.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yunjin.
Jin Mikotaba. Yushin Mikotaba.
Yujin Mikotaba.
My name is Eugene Migotaba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yumu University.
Ah, Professor Mikotaba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad.
Asogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know.
Know what?
Well, as you no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked. Never granted again.
What?
Ah, as I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you.
I'm sorry I like to interrupt, but that looks like the judge from the Phoenix Wright games.
Probably is all the judges.
Only the point.
He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing?
The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable circumstances.
I don't believe it. But I didn't do it, I swear it! I'm not a murderer!
I'm sure that's true, nevertheless. I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial.
Man, I use them too many big words.
Sorry? What do you mean?
You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway.
But, then what should I do?
Well, naturally, I'm gonna suggest not doing anything that would lead to a conviction.
Right, so...
As soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do.
I do? But, what will the question be? Surely not? Do you accept the accusations brought before you? That's you, Joy.
Oh, defendant. Court is about to begin. Please proceed to the courtroom at once.
They're no longer background images.
It would seem our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short.
I'm gonna get judged for saying this, but I feel this is like college level reading, isn't it?
Probably.
So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial.
I know what the question's gonna be. It's gonna be, do you wish to defend yourself?
I have no clue.
Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours.
Troy.
What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty or failing to appear? Get moving. There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway.
This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence, the trial that would decide my destiny. So this is a courtroom.
This is Supreme Court of Judiciary. No court in the land has more power.
I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there.
The powers that be have demanded this be a secret trial.
Kazuma, how is your headband flowing when we're in a room?
Let me-
Surrounded by walls, no wind. A secret trial?
A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend.
What? But why?
It'll become clear in time, but for now, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Andrew?
The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency.
And in this, as in the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I'd like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Greg. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. And this is an unusual circumstance. I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial?
This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question Professor meant. But then, if I say I do... I need to answer quickly. What should I do?
Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. So I'm standing here beside the defendant. I hope it's clear that who will advocate. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst?
I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself.
You'll be... What? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikutoba told me everything just now before the trial.
Oh, that was me.
Oh. He did what?
He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose.
How sad. Means you don't have faith in me? You think I won't be able to get you off?
No, it's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you...
Yes. I knew that's how you feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mitakaba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Oh yeah, that's for me. That's me as well. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial.
Well, does the accused admit defeat already, renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows the defendant's innocence is so apparent he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruto?
Hmm? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank.
I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered.
Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court. You must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed.
As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judiciary of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all who present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruto?
Yes, Your Excellency. Blah, blah, Your Excellency.
Excellency.
Your Excellency.
It is therefore my duty to express your competence for the task you have undertaken.
My competence? What does that mean?
He's questioning your ability to do the job.
Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am.
Let's start with the very simplest of questions.
Oh, yes.
Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case.
Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I'd care to remember. But, wait. I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. What was it again?
Reno Stan. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank.
You know me so well.
All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record.
But I can't even find that. I was legit looking for it and couldn't find it.
Press the E button.
Ah, okay, Kazuma. Kazuma, it's not working.
If you ever find yourself forgetting something, just consult that. It's all in there.
I just have to press E for court record? Alright, there's no time to lose.
This is the list of evidence you collected. Now try switching to people instead with E. Hit E. I'm going to flip it here when you're done. Just press Z to go back.
Alrighty. Yunjin Moktaba, a medical school professional at the Imperial Yumi University. He is an authority in forensic medicine and Kazuma's mentor. Kazuma. Taksuchi Oichi, the lead prosecutor of the case, who would appear to have a little love for the change the cultural reform has brought about. John H. Wilson, the victim of the case. He was a visiting professor of medicine at Yumi University from the British Empire. Cool. God, Kazuma has some dreamy eyes.
Remember, everything to do with the current case on can be found in the court record. Now you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim and people section of the court record and press R to present.
Yes!
The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson.
Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university.
Oh yeah. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor invited to Yuma University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such a profound implication. British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. Most of you will be aware we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. We can't be anyone, as I've heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation.
And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at Imperial Yumi University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor?
But I didn't do it.
This case is coming under great scrutiny from my allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and dependable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has...
Shh.
Oh,
Shut.
sorry, they don't change the color of it.
So that's why the trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it?
Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman.
Damn English. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime.
Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going.
Alright, see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer.
But after all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner.
The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson.
Now then, let's pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruto.
Yes, Your Excellency.
How did this professor of medicine, Dr. J. Wilson, John H. Wilson, lose his life?
Post-mortem report. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. and was caused by a loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Oh.
I did R to present, my guy.
You didn't ask for him to present.
Oh, I thought it pulled it up on its own. Oh yeah, state before the court the cause of the death.
The cause of death. Well, obviously, that was,
Or not okay. Remember that in the court, everything assertion must be backed by evidence.
by evidence?
Oh, yeah.
But how?
Find a piece of evidence which is the cause of death and select present. Do it now!
Yes, Kazuma.
Yes.
Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma.
Learn to read, you imbecile. That's the post-mortem report, I take it.
Sorry, yes, that's right. The, post-mortem report.
West, the doctor dissects. In the West, the doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. An police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way.
Wow.
What?
Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later.
This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion.
Okay, bullet hole, steak, fork, wine, glass, edge of a glass. Okay, just making sure.
Another
I don't
way,
think we're cross-examining yet.
we should assume that the victim was shot at close range.
Thank you, counsel. Court will accept this modern scientific evidence.
The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible.
Very well. I am satisfied with your answers. Let's start the trial.
Certainly, Your Excellency. I don't know what I did with my hands. So, without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened.
You mean the actual murderer?
Let's see who it is.
This
I'll
is
judge
it
him based
then.
on appearance. I think I may have worked out, Professor.
The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotaba? Toba?
Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant.
Ah! Of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial.
He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he?
Kazuma? Not in public. Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma.
Well, my first piece of advice is rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the sweat, cold sweats.
Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first.
Why does he have a sword?
Ah, he's posh.
Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please.
Of course. You want me to do it, Troy, since you already got like
Yeah,
two
you
people?
do.
Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am head waiter at the Western-styled restaurant called Le Carnival.
La Carnival. No, I'm leaving.
Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really, really should.
As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, in a occidental eatery 3 days ago.
Understood, Hosanage. You will kindly... Yeah, Hosanage, will you... Hosanage,
Kindly.
you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident.
At once, sir.
And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please.
Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few dinners at that time of day. Diners? The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits with the memory of it, too. There's hardly anyone else in that place. Well, it was when I was in the kitchen putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, and I hurried out to the dining area to see what happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student. Hold on! Let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up the gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him!
I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. This court wishes to listen to the witness report of what happened you saw, you amateur.
But...
The next time you interrupt, you will be penalized, Stefan Naruto. Don't worry, Renosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness.
If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in the court today.
Yes, without question.
I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim?
No. There was no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman and a university student. Wait. What did he just say? There was no one else around that table.
What's the matter, Renosuke?
That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him on the table.
Really?
And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Is it because we're not cross-examining I should wait?
I guess.
Probably.
Okay. I desperately wanted to say something, but I was told not to interject.
Renosuke. If your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you?
I suppose I am. I'd never have gotten into Yumi University otherwise.
Well, you can't always follow the rules in life, you know. You don't say what you want to do right now. You'll seriously regret it if you're found guilty.
Alright, you've scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there is something I want to say. I'm just gonna shut my eyes and say it. Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Dear me, what are we going to do with you? Your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all?
But I'm sure of what I saw.
Listen, Naga-san. Is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy?
No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to.
Japanese writing.
Oh,
Sure.
sorry. That's me. Let me see. Sketch of the established layout drawn by yourself, I presume.
Kitchen, bathroom. I'm gonna get called out for being a dumbass. That's right. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone.
Well, you're clearly a very consistent waiter.
Yes, take a drawing as evidence. Thank you, sir.
The court will take this plan and add it to the courtroom as evidence.
Oh, well,
Sheriff follow. And the plan to the court officer at once.
of course, here you are.
Sorry, I was yawning. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now.
Okay, something certainly seems to have shaken him. The waiter's business card has been entered into the court record.
Investigate the card.
Buddy, you don't need to be mocking me.
So, the court has now heard of process of the case.
Ah, an X. I don't know if there's anything I'm supposed to see yet. It's probably going to prompt me to turn the card around, and I can't do it just yet. Oh, I was right! It does say kitchen!
You thought that one symbol said kitchen.
Shh. I take what I can get.
Yes, at the moment, the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Different, Naruto.
Yes, Your Excellency.
If you admit your state at the guilt to this stage, the court is willing to look merciful upon you.
In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence that from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime.
Doesn't that contradict what they said earlier about nobody else? Or they said like 2 or 3 other people. That's not around the table. What do you think I should do, Kazuma?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm gonna be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You've said it, Professor Mikotoba said it, and it has to be the judge and a prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this.
As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent, yet I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw the trust back in my face? Is that it?
What?
If the accused is in fact innocent, an defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. And you're just going to abandon that duty? Or are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Yunosuke.
Oh my god.
The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency.
Kazuma, check your hand.
Yeah. Now the prosecution to stop making the empty threats about bringing out its witnesses. Is one of them? I know Ryunosuke, I think, is the ancestor for Phoenix, but is the other one for Edgeworth?
Not
That one
sure.
looks like Edgeworth, but I'm not sure.
I know that this is Phoenix's ancestor. There's the familiar mumbling I'm used to.
Indeed. Prosecutor Archie, please continue with the proceedings.
Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be.
Ugh.
Doubt it. You're the first one we go up against, so.
In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witness.
Very well, officer. Bring forth the witness evidence.
Oh my god.
A Nazi?
Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupation for the court.
Yes, sir. The great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant. No, sir, reporting for duty, sir. I'm not even going to pronounce his first name.
I'm sorry, what was your first name? I need to get that in court record.
Isa.
Fuck you.
Isa no, sir. Oh, wait, that's right. Their names are always fucking weird, right?
Yeah, it's Isanosa.
Isa no, sir. Reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the elderly sense of our nation, Nepal,
God damn, Troy's a voice actor.
and conduct my trade from Rasatai at humble premises in the 2nd District. Curio. Really?
Korikuta.
His name? No. His name is Curio. That's another word for, like, collector. Like what he does for...
Yeah.
All the names in this game are puns.
Yeah. Curio Korukuda, at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier? What an unusual pair.
Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question.
They must be diners at the table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I have literally taken tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always past noon. And not frequently conversed with interested parties regarding the curios that which make my business.
I can't understand a word that old man is saying.
He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have interest in antiques and tries to sell them his wares.
God damn, Kazuma, if you keep looking at me, shit's gonna happen in this courtroom.
He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with a rich, filling clientele.
Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks to be... that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer.
Now, you both witnessed the precise moments of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct?
Affirmative. The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war. Sir, it was the black uniformed rogue infantryman over there. Did you hear a baby as well?
I did.
Who unloaded his firearms.
This man's as impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said.
Okay, it wasn't just us. So this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatened. Soldier is claiming that he saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead.
Yes.
Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable?
I'm starting to feel another way if you keep looking at me like that, Kazuma.
They're all trying to gaslight fucking Rios and SK that he's actually murdered a guy.
If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start.
Now, the court will hear your formal testimony. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Alright. Yes, sir. Standing by, ready to report, sir.
Where the fuck is the baby noise coming from?
I don't know.
I think it's on his back.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
he
that
does
makes sense.
Unsavory memories of emotion. The afternoon.
I'm
It's just we cannot pronounce words.
Yes.
Yo, you okay, old man?
He's having a seizure.
What the witness saw.
I was ingesting a regular beef steak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a peculiarly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. A black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly weasel. Oh,
I know what I'm gonna do.
No, not yet, my guy. You're not, bitch.
I know, I just know what I'm gonna do. I just know what I'm gonna fucking present on.
Yeah. I was on my hands and knees. Ayo. Investigating the whereabouts of mysteriously abscond precious curio. Well, so you Sergeant knows that actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgiving.
Whoa! Oh man, calm down!
Oh, yo.
Oh my
Unforgivable
God.
enemy. What times we live in when an Englishman gentleman may be assailed in bright light of the day. Yo.
There's the man branding a knife right now.
Yeah.
In the middle of court on a murder
Well, I know-
case.
Well, I know who's gonna be the murderer now. You brought the murder weapon.
But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone.
Is that really true, Renevsky?
Yes! All I did was pick up the gun when I saw it lying on the floor. After I'd said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and I sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it, so I bent down, and just as I was picking it up... Bang.
Bye. Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witness testimonies, there's a clue to who that criminal was.
There is?
Oh, let's see.
He's giggling.
Renevsky, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witness.
Just why are you getting ready to pull your sword out, Kazuma? I mean, why are you getting ready to pull your sword out, Kazuma?
No.
Cross-examine?
Do it now.
As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice.
I swear, he's gonna put that thing down one day and it's just gonna break. His
Yeah.
hand.
That's probably when he snaps.
When you beat him, yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly, the testimony that the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt.
Your Honor?
Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of the... Damn it, I'm getting interrupted.
I fucking love that he just raises his hand!
What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst?
I am, the defense demands its right to cross-examination.
Dear me, dear me. Let me guess.
Hachimaki.
The Hakimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic.
Huh? How did he know?
The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time.
That is not how the court of law works.
No.
The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
Oh, that's me. The defendant is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think it's capable, or if it's irrelevant.
Kazuma is so commanding.
I wonder who the top and the bottom is. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witness. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Rinosuke.
I swear this is gonna happen in the future with one of my descendants. But I don't know what I have to do in a cross-examination.
So obvious. Expose the lies in the witness statement.
How?
Oh, you didn't fire the gun, which means that the soldier has to. The soldier said has to be a lie.
Well, yes, but
It's just a case of proving it, and the key of doing that is evidence.
right. Evidence.
What you do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Rinosuke. Don't let them beat you.
Kazuma, your hand. Ow! He actually looked at his hand. Alright then. It's all or nothing.
Begin cross-examination.
I ain't gonna read these cross-examination stuff.
Beefsteak. No. Precious when my firearm was discharged, I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired in the back. Oh, I can press!
Yes!
Yep.
Get ready to talk, Troy. Fuck you. So this black uniformed university cadet, you're saying that was...
Ah, I've just had about enough of your sauce, cadet. Who else do you see around here in a black uniform?
Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits that description as well, but...
It was you, you little weasel. You unloaded your firearm at that man. From his back, and you can call yourself a citizen of the Empire of Nippon. You disgust me. Dot, dot, dot.
That...
Look at his face.
Just... That baby sound.
Is it Rinosuke?
I'm not quite sure. It's something that the sergeant just said, but I can't put my finger on it. Something's playing on my mind.
In that case, check back over the details of the evidence we gathered in the court record. And if you find an inconsistency there with what the witness said, then don't hold back. He also said he unloaded on him as well, instead of just one shot. Press the evidence in the court, thrust it in the witness's face, and make him choke on it.
I was on my hand and knees. No. Go back. Ugh. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here.
Listen, Rinosuke. We know there are lies within the statements. It's time to expose them.
I understand that, but the question is how?
Like I said before, the key is using evidence that you collected. You examine the present evidence.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Compare all the facts. Somewhere in there, you'll find something that doesn't add up. In other words, an inconsistency.
An inconsistency.
When you find a statement in a piece of evidence that seems to contradict each other, present your evidence with R.
You gonna present your sword? Okay, never mind then.
Just be careful, because you're assertive contradiction that has no basis, you'll be given a penalty. If you kill too many penalties, the defendant's case will be fall apart and you'll receive a penalty. That's it. Review the evidence in the court record. Find an inconsistency in the witness.
Alright, I'll give it a try. That sounds like a
Review
form
the
of
witness
torture.
over again, as many times as you want. What's he about to draw for? Go ahead, keep your head and measure your attack. Good luck, partner.
I'll measure my attack. Okay. I know. Is there like a way that I can go back and forth?
Yeah, there should be. I
Cookies?
think.
No, there's no way I can go back and forth. I just gotta keep clicking. Like, it won't... Like, if I...
Yeah, it
click-
should.
Oh!
Yeah, I
No,
think
it
that was
won't.
just part of.
It's not letting me click back. Discharge. Own eyes.
That could be options.
Shot, yeah, that one. Present.
I mean, technically it would be either the autopsy report.
Well, that one says he was shot from the front of the chest. The autopsy report says
Through
he
the
was shot from
chat.
the collar. That one
Sure.
said specifically he died from the front.
Yes.
I mean, it says in the chest. It would say in the back if he was shot in the back.
I love his awkwardness. I really do, because I do the same thing of just holding my hand up.
Ugh. What? What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? I think he meant insubordination. Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache. Dilly just held up on his mustache.
Inconsistency, sir! I mean, yes! Ow. There's a clear inconsistency here.
What nonsense. What can this rent possibly tell us that we don't already know?
Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth.
I actually think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom.
This is so frustrating. Ooh.
That's definitely Edgeworth. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require the explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court.
Yeah, that's definitely an Edgeworth pose.
Yeah.
It is. Cosma. What?
What are you talking about?
Appears from a single glance at the photograph and presented by the evidence, by the defense, that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement.
What?
Sergeant Isonosa? I don't know his pun. Yes, sir. What, sir? This statement you just made was that the black uniform varsity cadet fired on the English gentleman and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes,
about-
sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir.
Yes.
Think about the pun with the guy from the first, the criminal from the first game, first trial.
I
What's his
can't.
name again?
It was like Mr. Seen It or something. Mr. Done It.
I saw it.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, that's- But no, that just can't be.
And why not cadet?
Because.
Let's look at the print. The victim has died from a bullet wound to the chest. Ah. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is obviously discrepancy. Well, how do you explain it? Well,
What? The What was that?
What was that?
Something just popped from behind the bad's back, and he pushed it down again.
Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. She nodded Sergeant Osa. Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious Lacarnival steak there.
What?
The last testimony that Kurt Horror doing one thing beyond a reasonable doubt. The witness, Sergeant Isonosa, did not see the defendant at all.
That's absurd.
The conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom.
Oh.
Oof.
There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about.
He said it. He said it. But I definitely saw it. The university cadet there was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes.
But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor.
And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I was already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure. Treasure?
Oh my god!
Oh. Indeed, the Ioera Koban, my prized coin. On each occasion when I visit the restaurant, it is my habitual to place my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest for my shop, Razu Tea. Hi.
In the hopes of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you?
On the day under scrutiny, it was the military man that I profited from proffered my Hoei treasure. Believed that he would purchase such a fire find. I did not, but I was presented with little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes from the briefest of moments, it was no more simple. It simply vanished. Well, I do know where the clown girl is from now.
The Koban vanished?
Hunting around under the table, I was in case mishap. It was all on there. Then it happened. Bang. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, or I was concerned only with finding my abscond Hoy treasure. Nothing could distract me. And this is a lot of animation. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hoy Koban was lost to me. No doubt, unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin. Some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself.
Oh, baby.
The baby.
That makes sense. Sure, everyone present is aware. This case demands a swift and decisive resolution.
You must discover where the coin went. That is my most... that is...
Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be, It would be unforgivable to deliver the verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, prosecutor?
Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled its tiger at the front gate, but you'll find a wolf at the back. 9 witnesses have further testimonies to make.
Oh.
Upon hearing their next statements, it will all become clear that there is only one person who could have possibly have committed this despicable crime.
The woman.
The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruto.
What?
This seems to have a despicable opinion of me. Very well. The court invites the witness to testify again. We will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as pure glass, Rex. Yes, sir. At once, sir. Waiting signal to testify, sir.
Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think.
Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up to the rank. Sir, name Ido. It seems those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to a forward nanny. Ido, Dean's son. Your father's about to quell the enemy. No. Sorry, that distracted me. Your father's about to watch and learn, my boy. My boy. Baby gonna testify?
It's the jig one.
I look like an old guy in my over years. I want that to be it. Even if I wasn't the precise moment the firearm was charged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, the point has gone. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man. He was that young man in black. That much I did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the English gentleman. Over and out. Oof. These tests certainly don't matter.
Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all.
Please, enough of these outbursts already. Oh, that's you. Sorry.
Please, enough of these outbursts already.
But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone here must have seen her.
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. Prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact.
Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, Counsel? That's you, Andrew?
Indeed, of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident.
Okay, there's a few bits of steak. All I can see that's, like, here is that there's, like, a few bites taken out of the steak.
But the chair is turned around, isn't it?
As can plainly be seen, there is only one place that...
Sir, based on the appearance of this print, would it be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else?
This doesn't make any sense. Troy.
The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. You
The
should look at
photographic
the,
print of the crime scene has been entered into the court record.
hold on. Go back to that. Go back to the court record real quick. Look at the picture of the death and then the picture of him. Sitting at a different table.
Is he?
Because he's turned his back to that. So that couldn't be his table. I have no clue.
That's actually not a
Well, you
bad
can't-
idea. That could be something that
I don't know if
is
that's
pointed out in a
something, but-
case.
Actually, go view that real quick. I have no clue what that is.
Table, 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 table. This is where the victim was shot.
I was just wanting to look at that, just to see if there was some
Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. and was caused by a loss. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Okay. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman.
The waiter said the same thing. He maintains that no person came to the restaurant alone as well.
But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him.
It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. Witness testimony we have just heard. No further room for doubt.
These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. Ink is still very fresh on that treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Tetsuchi Ayuchi, will have contributed to the enmity of these two great empires in an honor.
How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. That's you, Troy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I get the feeling
I have
this
no
is,
clue. The entire game, it's not over yet.
What?
If you want to say it's true, then there's something going on here behind the scene. Now it's your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination.
I don't know, Kazuma.
This defense is entitled to cross-examine the witness, but make it quick. Understood?
Rules can be so unbending at times. Begin cross-examination.
Well, I didn't see anything contradictory, so I think I'm gonna have to press.
I think this
Yeah.
is the tutorial about pressing.
Probably.
Even if what I saw at the precise moment of the firearm wasn't discharged, it's not almost the same thing. Press!
My guy.
No, it's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun.
We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet.
I don't think so.
Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked.
Did you?
Did you see it? Did you see me blink?
How could I?
And yet, it's an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it.
It's... have what?
Should.
I think it's supposed to be tension! Like
Oh.
attention.
Okay. The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman.
I think that says it all, don't you?
Ah.
And let us not forget the antiquity dealers witnessed the accused in this moment, in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Kurakuda-san?
Yes, pointing the gun at the firearm, he was a young lad in the black.
Yes!
Why are you pressing everything, my guy?
Because
That's what he does.
it's what you gotta do in the Phoenix Wright games. You know, you'd play if you got farther than the first game
My
on the
guy,
first mission.
Well, guess what?
Hmm.
I don't want you getting fucking a point cut off for you.
You don't get points cut off for pressing. You
I
can
didn't
press as
know
much
that.
as you want. Yeah, you can press as much as you want. It's presenting and demanding and presenting facts or stating facts. Yes, it may very be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time, but I've told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor.
Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away.
I had just finished drinking my coffee and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed the gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And exactly at that moment, bang. A gunshot rang in my ears.
Well, of evidence beyond our control like this.
Sorry? What do you mean?
In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up with
Precipitated.
What?
Precipitated.
Whereas, conversely, I failed to pick up the Koban from the floor and find myself in this equally testifying predicament as a result. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you, with pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner.
Yes!
You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
As you have been at pains to point out time and time again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman.
If only there had been more people dining there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her.
Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when that happened. Quiet time between lunch and dinner is dinner anyway in the restaurant.
I know. Of course the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect.
Certain 2 p.m. is neither here or sorry. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day and why he was alone.
Yes, Your Excellency, indeed, there was indeed a reason.
There was?
This was found in the victim's jacket pocket.
And that's why we press.
Okay. I do need to play the other games, though. What is that, Council?
It is a medicinal report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant.
Holtec Clinic, yes.
Oh, no.
There to be an entry in the date for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. Very day at the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his
Troy.
appointment. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm reading it was line.
So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this as evidence, as it really has no bearing on this case.
I wonder. What do you think, Vanessa?
Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really.
You can request it for it to be entered into the court as evidence if you think it could be useful.
Squeak, squeak. Should I ask
that's-
Dr. Wilson's
that
medical
new?
report card to be submitted as evidence or not? Ask for it to be submitted.
Yes!
If I may, I'd like to ask for the medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency.
On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurants are of no concern.
Objection!
Whether or not their concern is up to us to decide. We have no right to explore all possible avenues.
I beg your pardon?
We have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defendant's request.
Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's the most disturbing trend.
Oof. I just want to see fucking what's his name again? Officer Gumshoe. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record.
Isn't Gumshoe like a ripoff of Sherlock Holmes in this game?
I'm not sure.
Sherlock Holmes, maybe? Medical report card from the Hada clinic that was found in the victim's pocket.
And now is new clues. We have to explore things whenever possible, even if they don't see the first.
Right, I hear you.
You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you've forgotten. But these witnesses' testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Kuda-san.
Deed alone, there's a... Okay, I'm not gonna present, I'm just looking. Am I not? Oh, isn't that good? Oh, it doesn't...
I guess it's not
it won't let me examine. Okay. Medical report card from the Hada clinic that was found in the victim's pocket. Okay. Gonna see if we can get more clues.
Yes!
Examine.
So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone.
And I did. Forgive me for the position I placed you in.
So the testimonies of the old man and the soldier and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let's not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there is only a single beefsteak on the victim's table. A meal for one.
No.
The antique dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not possible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? Because I have absolutely.
Oh,
that's
if I'm
right.
perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. Sorry, I was invested in the story.
Same.
The crime scene photo for a second.
Do it.
That one or this one?
The photograph of the victim.
A bottle of carbonated water and a steak lunch can be seen on the victim's table. That shows the victim. He was shot in the front and...
Well, there's a thing of wine on his table.
Yeah, but we can't tell if, like, the steak has been eaten or not.
Yeah.
Look at, go back to the thing. I'm pretty sure it's it's either that steak or it's the portion of a glass that you can see in the corner of the picture. But I don't think it's gonna show that. It's gonna test.
Is there some liquid in that other one, the portion of glass?
There's two glasses on the table, is the thing. In the victim photo. Like you can see barely a portion of a second glass.
Oh, I see that, but would that could that be the flower vase?
Possibly.
Actually,
I think it's most likely it's talking about probably the steak been eaten.
Yeah.
Yes!
Why aren't you telling the truth?
What did you say, Cadet?
I clearly remember. there was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible.
Unfortunately for you, Arno, it's not just the case of these two witnesses alone.
Sorry?
The waiter whose testimony the court heard earlier clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone.
That's right.
Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady.
But I...
If a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands no further mention of this phantom woman be made. As it is a blatant waste of the court's time.
There's nothing I can say to that.
Excellent work there. We've gained new information.
Can you speak a little louder, Troy? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Excellent work, Renosuke. We've gleaned some new information now.
Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any really discrepancies to light.
I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before.
Oh? You mean this?
Yes, this is the brand new piece of evidence. Perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail.
How exactly?
Doesn't bear a magnifying glass. There are ones you can, only ones you can make famous.
Are you leaning away from your mic?
I mean, my mic's just been in the same spot. I was just drinking something there.
Ah.
Let's see if I can pull it forward a bit.
Okay.
Use the arrow keys.
The arrow keys.
I can finally turn stuff around!
Nice, that's cool.
Yes.
Sorry, I was reading that in my head. The crosshairs start to pulsate.
It's just tutorial.
Press space to obey safe present. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it for more detail.
Alright, I'll see what I can do. I need to use... and... to inspect any area of evidence that looks suspicious. Okay, name Mr. John Wilson at Hata Clinic.
Well, it's pulsating. Hit space to examine it.
Examine the Japanese writing.
It says Hata Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics, almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries.
Aren't they all the same?
When I was 5, I caught the only cold I ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life.
Most people would give their right arm to have only one cold in their whole life. Right, I don't think it's just this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything.
Gotcha. Oh. Medical report card requires any visit.
From the back, maybe?
That's what I'm probably gonna have to do. Okay. Hiya! Dentist! It looks like the medical report card was first issued quite some time ago.
Probably a record of a long-term treatment. That's why. The family doctor, I imagine.
Well, I can't imagine going to a doctor. I mean, as long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one.
Well, if you were dead, then there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors then?
Why would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine. They give you painful injections. And then they demand lots of money for you for the privilege. All when you're at your lowest ebb.
You sound like a model patient. The bad case of stubbornness list, from which the only cure is very bitterness indeed.
Oh, shit.
Open the.
I can't find anything out of place. Open it.
Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Ah, there's an entry for the date the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia.
Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out?
It would seem so. Just before the incident, he had a bad tooth removed. It's the most. Perhaps they used methane gas. It's the most modern practice in West for pain relief.
Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you from feeling pain.
Ah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Oof. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic measures have passed.
That explains why there's only one plate.
Yeah,
Really?
sounds like the information worth bearing in mind.
The medical report card's information has been updated in the court record.
I don't think you have to read that.
I know, I just like doing it. A record of dental work on the day of the murder, the victim has undergone. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes.
So I think it's time to listen to the testimony again, don't you?
Definitely. Give me one moment. I want to look
What are
at
you doing?
something.
What?
Okay.
What are you looking at?
I'm trying to see if there's like a back or forth. Confirm, cancel, present, history, court record, people, evidence, press, review scene, options, pause, autoplay, story mode. Nope, okay.
Alright, before you do that, while you're here, I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
I mean,
You wanna just-
now that we have the ability to rotate,
Yeah! Oh, I'm gonna need Troy for this.
Sorry, I told you to wait a second.
Well, I
told you to wait while you're in the main menu. But
well, go
no,
hurry,
you didn't.
go hurry up and pay us. I'll
am.
fill in for you.
Well, no, I want to know what's going on, my friend.
Then
So
read.
don't just wait 5 seconds, my guy. Right back.
Unfucking professional.
You're the one who decided to continue.
Hurry up and go use the restroom. Okay, so I'm gonna try to. That's kind of cool.
what?
There's like imprints of Japanese characters.
Remember, he wrote this on the back of his business card.
Yeah, and he was very Harley girl. Sorry, Harley came and jumped on my lap. Harley girl, come on, up, up.
You know those imprints are probably the actual front of the business card.
Most likely, yes. I do believe that. I also remember him being very hesitant and unwilling to hand over the card. I was gonna say something stupid.
My other restaurant raises a number of questions, I think.
Definitely.
I suppose It's supposed to show the relative position of everything in the moments following the incident. There's nothing to show the woman you saw there.
Exactly, and that's not all. Look here in the upper left. It says kitchen.
Hmm? Oh yes, what of it?
No one would use those complicated characters to write kitchen, especially not if they were in a hurry.
You mean, don't you remember those characters yourself, don't you? Study harder, Renosuke.
You motherless goat. Oop. Kitchen.
Rotate.
Rotate, my guy.
Rotate. Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonokuwa, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau?
Said he was a waiter.
Excuse me?
That's unexpected.
What is?
Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga.
Well, yes, business cards do tend to show a person's name. That's sort of the point.
That's not the name. It's not the name. It's his job title.
His job? Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hasanoga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth?
I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence if they're wielding it somehow here.
Hosonaga-san is a police inspector. The waiter's business card information has been updated in the court record. Cool. I think that's all we're gonna get. Okay. So, can't eat or drink. Gotta find the one that's about eating or drinking. The firearm was the scars. It was almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was...
Not that one.
Yeah, I know. I was just testing to see if I could click back and forth. Furthermore, visual search of the premise and confirmed that we're the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, dining all by himself.
No, that was that sentence. Glenn.
Therefore, another... Okay. Oh, I right-clicked to go back. Cool, 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 cool.
Yes!
I didn't mean to press. Yep. Nope. Stop looking so fucking majestic. Present. Oh, this. I want to present this.
Yes!
Well, I think,
Oh, what are you reading, lad? Call yourself a lawyer?
I wish I could, but first and foremost here, I'm the accused.
Renosuke?
Yes, Kazuma?
Everything stumbles on your words occasionally under the circumstances. I wouldn't worry about it.
Thanks, Kazuma.
I could see it quite clearly that in the cross-examination you just carried out, when you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you knew exactly what it is you wanted to say. I don't feel like you have the choice. Choose your words here carefully. Just say what you're thinking.
All right. And thanks for the advice.
Damn, there's a lot of animation in this one.
Kurokuda-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim.
Ah, I see. And I don't see. What of it, boy?
Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement... Ow. Something clearly doesn't add up.
Dear me. Have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur?
Sorry, what?
You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish dribble.
It's my cross-examination, you But...
Let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant.
But that's
Remember, Renosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words.
but everyone else is doing it.
Just make your point.
Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There's surely no need to prolong this trial any further.
Hmm.
The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medicinal report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else beside this pale-faced pupil who could have possibly...
This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that?
That outburst have petrified me, boy! Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant?
Perhaps because Hata Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic.
A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me?
Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted?
What's this now?
And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating,
Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat, so what?
it's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off.
What? No, that can't...
Kurokuda-san,
What, boy? What?
as you just heard, when he was killed sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all.
No.
Additionally,
There's more?
you have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. Ow. But that cannot possibly be the case. I'm just gonna point out like a little detail. Like, fuck, I can't... Renosuke. Whenever he's not sure of himself, he does like the haphazard slam on desk. Now that he's actually positive, he didn't even flinch. He just went BAM! I like that. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of anesthesia. Of the anesthetic.
Anesthetic. Ah! Expertly done, partner. Like how his parade rest is actually kind of helping holding the baby up.
What is this nonsense? You little upstart. These are baseless accusations. Just look at the photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about, or can you follow the logic?
How dare you?
I think it's fair to say that the table in this restaurant's case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Renosuke?
Yes! Most definitely!
Having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating the picture's beef steak? Now, I want some beef steak. The court will hear the opinion of the defendants in this new puzzle, I assume. I assume you're ready, counsel.
Counsel? Oh! That means me, doesn't it?
Alright, that answers the question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of your turning the trial around. Show them what you're made of.
Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been me. It was me. The victim himself, me, the two witnesses, an as yet unknown third party. Obviously, it can only have been someone else who has been sitting at the professor's table.
You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person.
There was, because I saw her.
When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It is clear that the witnesses' testimony are unreliable.
Assertion. Sorry.
If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice to pursue a fair retrial relentlessly.
Kazuma.
Are you insane? You would take on the government?
Don't worry, Counsel. I have no issue with you.
What do you mean?
I have an issue with them. These two witnesses in this stand. What are you talking about? There's no evidence that the victim was not alone. So if it now turns out that the two of you would rely with giving your testimonies, obviously you'll be charged with perjury. Perjury. Since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed
Complicit.
Complicit in murder? No. Negative.
All I can think of is like that fucking what was that Wreck-It Ralph movie? Whenever Ralph was asking to come to the bug game, and the guy was like, "Negatory."
Negatory. There was absolutely no mention of this on the tactical meeting.
Also, y'all had a meeting.
I was just following orders. That's right, as the man says. They just say that you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they told us. Oh, back to old man.
What? What did you just say, Kurokuda-san?
Oh, hold on. I think his model is clipping in the floor. Oh, no.
You were just following orders?
No, hold on, lad. I was, Say you never saw the gentlewoman? When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas?
What?
What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses give false statements? Is this true, you pair?
Just one simple slip of the tongue. Order, counsel, explain what is going on here. Painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth.
Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this.
Ow. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut?
Well, that's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Yosuke. Judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn by silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe actually have any idea about it.
What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose.
Ooh, the police? Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? We can affirm who's tried to silence these witnesses, and we can continue our pursuit.
So we need a name, whoever it was that tried to make this witness keep their mouth shut.
Or, of course, we'll need evidence before we make any firm accusation. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his power of influence. The chief.
But how? How can we possibly...
Remember how we made progress before?
Before?
I was
Ah, yes, this thing we did about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah. We explained this piece. Oh, yeah. That's right.
Oh, yes, that's right. Read, Troy.
I'm sorry, I'm reading. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure it's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. I want answers. It's just, if it's proven that the witnesses might have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe.
Please, wait, Your Excellency. I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing.
What does the defense have to say about all this?
Well, Your Excellency, no time to think. I'm just going to have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes to my head. Before I do that, I just want to see if I can do something.
What are you doing?
Because I sing blah, 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 blah.
What are you doing?
I doubt anything's gonna happen. Nope, I can't. Okay, I was seeing if I could like turn the photos over and see if there's like any information on the back of the photos. Okay. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses.
Saratobu.
Ah, Yujin Mikotaba. Mikotoba. Saruto Honosuke. Oh.
R.
67. Yeah, I know. I'm just looking because I haven't read their information.
Yes.
Well, surely that would be. So, yeah, Seitaru Hosonaga.
Oh, Sonaga. The waiter who took the stand earlier?
Poppycock. What possible reason would the waiter have to make the witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence.
For once, I would agree with you.
I just love the fucking nervous
That
eyes.
is, the man truly were a waiter.
What? You truly were?
Come on, Minosuke. Time to hit the court with the truth. The truth about Horton's real identity as proven by this evidence.
Hiya!
Is that it?
Yes.
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant is fixed by the man in question. I agree, it shows a great deal of potential, but I'm sure not to prove anything.
Sorry, Your Excellency. That's the back of the card. It's the back of the back of the card that's of interest.
I beg your pardon.
Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes! It's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is.
Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Osanaga-san sketched this plan on the back of the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card is the man is in question's profession, his true profession. The waiter's profession? But that's surely... Good gracious. That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau.
What? The waiter's a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before?
The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power as far as the civilians are concerned. So, witnesses therein is the stand. Was it in effect the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Ah, well.
Inspector Hosanaga. I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility.
The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence.
Oh, well...
We already read this.
It's okay to still read.
Just a flash.
Of course. Here you are.
A flashback to 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake.
So you mean to say you really are a detective?
But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Ah, of course! Your salary must be... I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter working undercover.
Did it skip on... Did you accidentally skip on that one, or...
No.
Did it actually just skip itself?
No, people interrupt each other. They hit skip.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like...
I'm not doing it. The game is
Okay.
interrupting. I make sure that people are able to read.
Okay. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents?
That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to the case of homicide.
Hmm. Very well, then. Inspector Hosanaga. But you will elaborate on one point of your report?
Of course, Your Excellency.
We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. At the time of the shooting, there were in fact another present at the victim's table. That's indeed true. Certainly, clearly you would have been aware that the person is present, having served the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other dynamic. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you will require these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct?
Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable.
As I suspected. He's got the Black Plague.
As soon as I heard the gunshots, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite of the victim at the same table was a young lady whom I'd guess to be the Englishwoman.
So that's true. So the truth comes out.
I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if the Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishwoman has been murdered on our an Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect? Well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question.
That's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case.
But it's not right!
One possibility does spring to mind.
What do you mean, Kazuma?
The university is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain. I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical facilities research laboratory, is a young English woman.
What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean, when I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first.
And the court demands you tell the name of the lady in question at once, Inspector.
The Englishwoman sitting at the university professor's table was a certain Miss Janelle Brett? Or is it G. Ziley? I'm just gonna call her Miss Brett.
Jazeel?
Jazeel? Okay, that makes sense. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yumi University's medical facility.
What is happening here?
I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in the testimonies. It must now be up to your excellency to decide how to deal with this situation.
Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been unpinned by the particular critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that then this premise is false, it would be a discretion to our justice system to ignore the truth and give the ruling at this point. But
Your Excellency, that would mean missing a noon deadline of a ruling in order to send a telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by this action.
calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any others to influence proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosanaga,
Yes, sir.
you will locate Jezebel Brett and escort her to the courtroom with your utmost urgency.
At once, Your Excellency.
But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau.
As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So it won't be a problem?
Stop coughing.
Nothing will get in my way.
I feel like this man is the gumshoe.
Yeah. Court will adjourn briefly. Prosecution must call the English student Isabel Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear?
Yes. Your Excellency.
Good. Then we have a 30-minute recess before reconvening.
Hot
That's the
damn.
end of the game.
Is it gonna give me a save or is it just gonna continue? Ah, there we go. Nice. So you guys enjoying this so far? Just making sure? Heck yeah. Give me one moment.
Why?
I'm gonna end the stream. Do you guys want to continue to finish at least this one part?
I'd be down for it if Andrew is.
Andrew?
I'm fine.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I'm gonna end the stream at the moment and start a new one for the part 2 because this is already reaching 2 hours.